A very good evening and a warm welcome to our second edition of UBC News Tonight on this 31st day of October 2024. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto and my colleague Muhammad Mugalu on sign language interpretation. We do welcome you to this second edition. But before we get into our news today, let's first take a look at the top stories making headlines this evening. In our top stories tonight, Prime Minister Nabanja commissions business center in Dubai. Minister Mayanja is off Major General Eli Kayanja over illegal evictions. Bugisu coffee farmers protest UCDA merger with Maif. And East African MPs adopt resolution to enhance regional water transport. Good evening once again. President Museveni has accepted an invitation from his Egyptian counterpart, His Excellency Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, to attend the Nile Basin States Summit in Cairo next year. The Egyptian president's invitation was formally delivered by Dr. Badru Abdelati, Egypt's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Immigration and Egyptian expatriates. He received today at State House in Entebbe. This summit, as the highest decision-making body of the Nile Basin Initiative, is seen as a crucial, very, very crucial for following political issues and coordinating the effective management of the basin's water resources. The gathering will bring together all 11 heads of state from the Nile Basin countries, including Egypt, Ethiopia, Sudan, South Sudan, Kenya, Rwanda, Uganda, Eritrea, Tanzania, Burundi, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. In their meeting, President Museveni underscored his perspective on the region's core issues. Recalling data from 1964, Museveni highlighted a significant reduction in water flow from Uganda to South Sudan, which has decreased from 60 billion cubic meters to 40 billion cubic meters due to reduced rainfall. He also expressed frustration with the pace of discussions. Now, on his part, Dr. Badru Abdelati conveyed President el-Sisi's message, noting that he will be delighted to receive President Museveni in Cairo. He emphasized Egypt's resilience and President Museveni's wisdom in guiding the Nile Basin Initiative forward.
Really two. Number one is the underdevelopment in the tropics. If you maintain underdevelopment in the tropics, backwardness, you have two problems. You have the problem of primitive agriculture, where people are just misusing the land and the water and the water bodies because they don't know what to do. In that way, the fellahin here invade the wetlands, what they call wetlands. What they call wetlands are actually tributaries of the Nile. Now, when they invade them and grow crops there, then they destabilize the rain system in the tropics. So, problem number one, which I told Boutros long ago, was the tropics must undergo socio-economic transformation so that the big part of the population does not depend on agriculture. They shift to industry and services and so on, and leave a few people in agriculture.
Our private sector is very keen and are keen to invest, to inject more investment here in Uganda in order to further strengthen and deepening our cooperation. On the political level, hopefully we would like to have a ministerial joint committee in order to follow up with the implementation of how to further enhance our cooperation. I was talking with my dear brother, hopefully to receive him and the Minister of Water Resources to come to Cairo in December in order to talk about specific projects on the ground with mutual benefits for Uganda and for Egypt. We have a capital of $600 million as a start.
Women market vendors in Kampala, under their association dubbed Yellow Women, have endorsed President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni as the sole candidate for the 2026 general elections. This was during their belated Independence Day celebrations held at Chibuye Playgrounds here in Kampala.
The event attracted several local leaders, market leaders in Kampala, and was presided over by the vice chairman of the National Resistance Movement Party, Alhaji Moses Chigongo. The NRM party supporters who turned up for this event began by conveying their appreciation for the leadership President Museveni has offered to the country.
When our president came to power, women were emancipated. We thank the president for empowering us.
If the husband is good and responsible, why won't you stay? That is exactly the message these women have given about President Museveni.
In his remarks, the NRM Vice Chairman Alhaji Moses Chigongo warned the party supporters against political violence.
Let's not be excited. We should go slow on politics of excitement.
He assured the party supporters that the NRM government is committed to creating a peaceful and stable country for all Ugandans.
When we came to power, we did not come to joke around. We came to power to ensure that Uganda is a peaceful country.
The resident city commissioner for Kampala, Asimwe Jane Mohindo, says they are going to hit the ground to ensure that they reorganize the leadership of the markets in Kampala with the aim of ironing out the challenges the vendors are facing.
Because government has put all means, government has constructed markets, but how do we ensure, we as KCCA and other stakeholders, to ensure that we get the intended mission of these markets, because government spent a lot of money in these markets. By whatever means, we have to ensure that we resolve the issues.
In the previous election, The NRM party struggled to gain support in Central Region, and this endorsement of President Museveni is a sign that the party is gradually gaining ground in the region ahead of the next general elections. Diano Olwen Peters, Rebecca Nantongo, UBC News.
Chairman Chigobero Cyrus of Sebuguzi village in Kapeka Town Council has been detained by Kapeka police under accusations of involvement in land scams and defying the office of the president. His arrest was directed by Fiona Barungi, Senior Presidential Assistant for General Duties, acting on behalf of State Minister for Lands, Dr. Sam Mayanja, during a visit to the village.
The issue centers around a 600-acre land dispute of which elderly resident Narada Restuta claims ownership of 75 acres inherited from her father on block 261, plots 34, 29 and 31. She has accused Chigobero of harassment and torture in an attempt to claim her portion of the land.
Kujunga bakolera eno baveerye wasimei senunjoji nga bajene wekobo yamu mukibi okulwanira ebyayo era nze ngezezzaako okujja wano nga bankwatira biso nze wano wendi zirina kulwanagana lutalo na famere yani yasimei senunjoji
ono yatunda ettaka okulikuza kitaawo ono ekyaluvanyuma.
Chairman Chigobero Cyrus responded to these allegations, asserting that the dispute was already in the High Court in Ruwero and stating that the land originally belonged to his late father, Lekobowamu Muchibi. Additionally, Namakula Eva, a descendant of Semakula Stephen, Lekoboam's son and now estate administrator, confirmed she is familiar with Narada and needs justice.
Nabatansi Joyce tukkirizibwa okumukolera transfer ku ttaka ery'omugenzi Lekoboam.
Fiona Barungi instructed Nakaseke RDC Rosemary Byabasheja to carry out an immediate investigation and provide a comprehensive report on the matter.
That is in discipline of the highest order. In discipline of the highest order. Mateka by constitution. Omuntu anaba kuyise jango yitabe. Naye omuntu ayekaniddawo n'akuyita jabayambeko nenogana okujja nogana nogwa apology noddamu nawandika ebbaluwa ng'olina by'olagira kwagala kwebaza pulezidenti waffe nti yalwanirira eddembe kyova olabateekako offices ezitali zimu na zimu omuntu owa wansi afuna obwenkanya abamu tetwandibadde mu ofiisi naye agenda okulaba n'alaba nti ono omuntu asaana wano aja kuyamba abantu bange n'atuteekako.
Bugisu Coffee Farmers and the Bugisu Cooperative Union BCU Elders Forum have protested the ongoing move to merge Uganda Coffee Development Authority with the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries. The coffee stakeholders that gathered at BCU headquarters in Mbale City expressed that UCDA plays a pivotal role in ensuring quality, retool coffee farmers and source for coffee market, among others, which if merged with the Ministry of Agriculture, the farmers is set to lose out on quality assurance, hence calling upon government to revise the proposal. We have more.
Include Farmers and Bugisu Cooperative Union Elders Forum have expressed discontent on the government's proposal to rationalize Uganda Coffee Development Authority into the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries under the rationalization of government agencies arrangement.
UCDA should stay. We are here to show our dissatisfaction to the controversial coffee bill of 2024. As younger generations, we are not going to accept the coffee bill.
We are saying no monopoly to our coffee because that coffee has raised many of us because we have even gone to school because of coffee.
According to Professor Patrick Kiboma, the chairperson Bugish Cooperative Union Elders Forum, the merging of UCDA is set to retard coffee business in the country, and as Bugish Cooperative Union, custodian of coffee in Bugisho, strongly protests the move.
We BCU Elders Forum, on behalf of coffee, Bugisho coffee farmers, oppose the merging of UCDA with the Ministry of Agriculture. If it is the question of reducing costs by government, UCDA should be funded by cooperatives and coffee dealers through paying cess fees.
UCD has ensured the quality of coffee through empowerment of extension workers, who severally have in turn reached local farmers and provided them with knowledge on coffee growing.
Uganda Coffee Development Authority is the only one that can ensure quality, right from all the value chain, the value addition chain. It has managed right from the nursery bed up the time when the coffee is taken.
UCDA was introduced in Uganda. We are now having a patronage of over 4,000 per year, whereby a farmer is earning over 12 million.
Professor Kiboma also highlighted that like other coffee growing countries, Uganda should also give an independent body that handles coffee if the countries realize profits from this crop.
Many producing countries in the world have autonomous specialized institutions which manage their coffee industry. E.g., Kenya has coffee board. Brazil, which is the largest coffee producer in the world, has Brazilian Coffee Institute.
The abolishing of UCDA stems from the proposed rationalization of government agencies, where the Coffee Bill 2024 was tabled before the Parliament, and it is currently on the first reading, awaits for the second.
Now, coffee farmers from Chichusa in Nakaseke district have expressed their concerns about government's decision to scrap off Uganda Coffee Development Authority in the current exercise to merge its agencies and departments to line ministries. Some of them support the decision, while others argue oppositely that this could harm Uganda's coffee sector. This was during the engagement with officials from State House in Poverty Alleviation Department, PAD, to discuss its progress and challenges.
The government's plan of rationalizing its agencies and departments that are seeming to be carrying out related activities to merge them with the line Minister of Agriculture. However, the proposed bill to merge Uganda Coffee Development Authority to the mother Minister of Agriculture has significantly created a concern. The Buganda Kingdom, through its Katikro, was among those who expressed its disapproval of the proposal.
Vis-a-vis the role of coffee. So UCD actually needs more support. And I read in the papers that the matter will be revisited in 2027. And if they decide to phase out UCD in 2027, I think the government will have made its biggest mistake.
On the same cause, coffee farmers in Chichusa, Nakaseke district have shared views on the proposed bill. Ronald Musoke says that the authority has been instrumental in educating them about coffee farming, especially concerning pest management and harvest time.
UCD ebadde ekoze bulungi. Lwaki? Nti ekyamazima ebadde ekola omulimu munene okujja okutusomesa ennima y'emmwanyi, ennoga n'ennyanika yaazo.
He says if the authority is taken away, the ministry may not provide the same level of support like the authority.
Nze mbadde ngamba esigalewo kubanga bwe bagigatta mu kirala osanga ate tuyinza okufiirwa nga kiri ekirala kye bagitaddemu kiina emirimu mingi.
However, Mzee Sulaiman Tibaweswa and Semiano, also coffee farmers, have their different opinions.
Kyali badde kirungi kigatte mu kitongole ekirala kyeraba nti kisobola okukola obulungi. Sirabawo obuzibu bwonna kubanga omuntu owa bulijjo talina kyabadde afuna mu kitongole ekyo.
Njagala okwekatali president ku kyayogedde nti okuvaako kwakyo sikirina mbuzi kubanga ddala singa okutya kwe kusuula akatale k'emmwanyi n'omukulu agamba akatale tekana kyekakiwukako.
This was during the engagement with officials from State House Poverty Alleviation Department that was led by the head of department, Joan Kakwenzire. Joan Kakwenzire expressed her pleasure that PAD initiative is improving the living conditions of the people in Chichusa and pledged to lobby for more support.
The farmers of Chichusa Model Parish, which is a presidential model parish, started in the year 2008. They called me to update me on their successes, their challenges, and to share the way forward.
Suleiman Walusimbi, the head of communication at PAD, enlightens the purpose of the engagement, highlighting the president's initiative to uplift people from poverty. During the meeting, locals requested that they be provided with security in the area to curb theft.
Government has been called upon to give priority to other minerals as opposed to what it's being described as over-concentration on petroleum. The Executive Director, National Planning Authority, Joseph Muvawala, says inspection and value addition on minerals will change Uganda's economic landscape. This, he said, during a stakeholders' consultative meeting on responsible mineral sourcing and investor protection held at State House Investors Protection Unit in Kampala.
Next 10 to 15 years, if Uganda will achieve the tenfold growth, things must change. These were the words of Dr. Joseph Muvawala as he addressed investors in the mineral sector.
People forget that the leading objective in any plan are the people. You can write all these plans, but I don't think I have ever attended a meeting like this one. I am a head of plan. When I call you, you will not even come. That is the problem in this government. We never sit down together to discuss a small matter and solve it.
He was concerned that the sector had not been given priority to the disadvantage of the economy.
We have over-prioritized petroleum. We have not trained the people in this area. We have no inspectors on the ground, even check the quantity of the gold that you have in this country and the minerals. We have no way bridges. Am I lying? Okay. We have no way bridges to even know the quantity of these things that people are taking away. Artisanal miners have not been organized. We have redundant licenses held by some of us, the big people, and taking them away is a problem. So this is a sector you're coming in. It is the most important sector, but the most challenged.
To agree with him was renowned policy analyst Dr. Gerald Karieja, among other speakers.
We can collaborate with anybody and everyone, but for the Ugandans at the end of the day, how do we benefit? Somebody mentioned benefiting as a country. Ugandans don't want the country to benefit at abstract level. Our GDP is increasing when the benefits are being externalized. They want to participate in the benefiting, having their lives change.
Such were some of the challenges that the convening of this meeting sought to address. The head of State House Investors Protection Unit, Colonel Edith Nakalema, was the chief convener.
We still have a lot of work to do in Uganda Police because many of the investors that have been freed of their resources, when we sit with them, up to yesterday, they mentioned the presence of police around them.
To have the sector enhanced further, it will require serious investors. With insights from the Ghanaian entrepreneur, Fred Sapong, the mining sector has the capacity to turn around Uganda's economy.
So the first priority when we are talking of minerals, we need to put in is exploration to determine the reserves that the country has.
Whether we like it or not, we have to sit down and then find a mechanism that as a committee
we can sit down and find out that this will work for Uganda.
Henry Okrut, UBC.
My name is Muhammad Muzana.
The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Dr. Diana Twine, has commended the Irish Embassy for funding development initiatives in the country. Twine was officiating at the commissioning of a neonatal intensive care unit at St. Kizito Hospital Matany in Napak District, constructed by Doctors for Africa with funds from the Embassy of Ireland.
The district has a population of about 200,000 people in 14 administrative units. They have 19 health centers, one being for the army and Matany owned by the Catholic Church. There are only 5 government health centers, 3 and 12 health center 3s.
The 12 health center 2s that are distributed across the district to Center 4 or hospital that's government owned.
Sub-counties like Puron and Achukudu have no health facility.
The population in Achukudu sub-counties, if you are to move to the nearest health center within a park, it is 45 kilometers to Iriri from Achukudu. This is the community that does not have easy access within the district. For them to access better services, probably they have to move 20 kilometers into Abim district.
Napak District Health Officer Timothy Teko says people in those areas buy medicines on the market day.
Integrated outreaches are planned periodically and whenever we have resources, because they are costly activities. That is the only opportunity that we have to reach places that don't have any form of health care services. When people come for market days, that's when they have an opportunity of getting some of the medicines.
Leaders narrate how locals trek over 40 kilometers to seek health services, which has increased maternal deaths and child mortality raising.
In 2 weeks, we lost children. We lost one child because of malaria, and they were not able to be to access either BIM or Kapelivion on a park.
Mother was trying, and the caretaker was trying to cross the stream, the motorcycle. The mother could not, because you see she got submerged, she was already weak. Now they had to lift her across to where the ambulance was. By the time she reached the ambulance, she had overbled. So unfortunately we lost the mother.
If we have 2 health facilities in some big sub-counties, and then those 2 sub-counties of ours that don't have any health facility, that they also have
a need that government, through Ministry of Health, has given Bokora East constituency a Grade B ambulance. Leaders also say malaria is the leading killer in the district.
The government of Uganda for giving us this wonderful ambulance.
If it is well managed, I am quite certain that it's going to rescue more lives, especially the mothers who are giving birth, and also those that do not have access to health services.
To make sure that the roadworthiness is maintained at all times and that the parking will be at the designated parking point. Should there be any case of abuse where it is parked in a drinking joint, of course, rest assured the driver will be arrested and reprimanded severely.
Leaders also say malaria is the leading killer in the district.
Parents and guardians have been urged to embrace civil registration as required by law under the Registration of Persons Act 2015 as amended. According to the 2023-24 statistics from the National Identification and Registration Authority, NIRA, only 32% of children under 5 years have their births registered at birth. We have the details.
Act 2015 as amended provides for registration of all births. However, the uptake of civil registration services that include birth, adoption, death, marriage and divorce remains low. According to the 2023-2024 statistics from the National Identification and Registration Authority, NIRA, only 32% of children under 5 years have their births registered at birth.
The foundation of an individual's identity and gateway to essential services. With the right support, birth registration can bring sustainable improvement and ensure that every Ugandan's life is valued, counted, and supported.
civil society organizations spearheaded by Coalition for Health Promotion and Social Development have urged parents and guardians to embrace birth registration.
Birth registration is the entry point. Every child deserves the chance to start life with legal recognition, a tool that will accompany them from birth through school to adulthood. Birth certificates enable access to essential services like school enrollment, health care, and social protection programs. When children are registered at birth, we empower families, communities, and Uganda as a whole.
Birth registration of children comes with a number of benefits.
There are many benefits that accrue to a person who has that certificate. They will ultimately, when they clock 18 years, get a driving license with ease. They will also access the banking services, and they will also own property because they can be identified or even distinguished from the others. So parents should never abdicate from this duty.
The civil society has commended government for the decentralization of the National Identification and Registration Authority, NIRA. According to the civil society, civil registration and vital statistics is key for proper planning and service delivery. Adia Nakote, UBC.
Kampala commemorates the 24th anniversary of United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325, a pivotal framework aimed at amplifying the voices of women in peace and security processes. Various stakeholders from government, embassies and development partners read statements at Media Center.
That is commonly referred to as a landmark resolution, because it was the first time that the UN recognized that conflicts and disasters affect women differently from the way they affect men.
Resolution 1325 was instituted to address the disproportionate impact of armed conflict on women, to promote their participation in peace-building efforts. In response, Uganda developed the National Action Plan 3 for Women, Peace and Security 2021-2025.
We appreciate the intersection between Resolution 1325 and Resolution 2250, between the Women, Peace and Security agenda and the Youth, Peace and Security agenda, because both agendas address discrimination, address exclusion, and address lack of participation.
Uganda currently hosts approximately 1,741,331 refugees, with 79% being women and children, due to the ongoing conflicts in the neighboring regions.
In the region, we also know that our Ugandan women have gone as far as South Sudan to participate in peace negotiations. So in terms of bringing women into leadership in addressing women, peace and security in the region, we are doing comparatively well.
Resolution 1325 aims to enhance women's roles in leadership and conflict resolution while ensuring their protection from gender-based violence.
We have trained local women mediators in the village, and we have established now a total of 19 women mediator networks
to be adopted to guide all countries, so that it is an international war crime for anybody around the world to use women and girls as a weapon of war, in terms of forcefully abusing them sexually, raping them.
It outlines specific strategies for implementation, including local action plans that allocate resources for women's participation in peace processes.
In the Embassy of Japan, we also conduct some grassroots effort to help individual entities, schools, hospitals.
A stark reminder of the sustained importance of the Women, Peace and Security agenda today.
As Uganda reflects on its role as a host nation during this commemoration, it must prioritize empowerment of its refugee women and children, ensuring that they are not only protected but also active participants in shaping a peaceful future.
Stakeholders are calling for a robust digital healthcare strategy to combat fraud, enhance efficiency, and improve service delivery. During the 4th Smart Annual Summit in Kampala, the focus was on advancing technological solutions to create more inclusive and impactful healthcare.
We've cut out the use of a card, and now we are totally cardless, so it is virtual.
Through digital automation, healthcare access, efficiency and service quality are enhanced by connecting patients to healthcare providers via technology. Digital transformation enables online appointments, scheduling and telemedicine services, making healthcare more accessible.
For you to be able to retrieve a patient record, rather than going through a mountain of paperwork, trying to look for that particular member's file, all you have to do is present a fingerprint and the member's details comes up. You don't have to go and fetch files to be able to understand how much they are covered for, because all the information is on the system. At the end of that journey, when the patient is about to leave, they close the bill using their fingerprint, having received their service.
The 4th Smart Annual Summit, held under the theme Advancing Healthcare Accessibility Through Digital Automation and AI, emphasized leveraging technology to address gaps in the health sector.
I think it is a good way to curb so many things. 1, bringing efficiency. 2, improving the customer convenience, but also curbing fraud. Initially, people would do lots of things because there was no check. But now with the solutions available, it is almost impossible. We can't say it is 100%, but it's almost impossible for someone to do frauds. There are lots of processes that we have in our institutions and organizations that are not relevant.
As technology facilitates clear communication between patients and healthcare providers, hospitals are encouraged to expedite the adoption of digital solutions. With the help of computer technology, healthcare institutions can establish sophisticated healthcare information systems to automate routine processes, optimize operations, and improve the quality of medical services. These systems also support clinic management, maintain patient records, and streamline insurance services.
That even as practitioners adopt, and even patients adopt the use of AI, they have to remember that aspects of data privacy have to be considered, aspects of following the right kind of protocols in terms of the AI in use, aspects in terms of ensuring that there is a human check beyond the use of AI to qualify some of the things that the AI may have provided.
The Smart Access app offers real-time access to medical coverage for subscribed members, allowing them to access services on the go without needing a physical card. The Smart Access app offers real-time access to medical coverage for subscribed members, allowing them to access services on the go without needing a physical card. Susan Naung and Andrew Sebira reporting for ABC TV.
ABC News Tonight takes a very short break, but we return with more stories.
There is only one rule you must follow in order to be a winner. Number 1, defeat the undefeatable. You, step forward. I want you to box the air until it falls down. I'm not seeing it falling in. You see it falling in. Winning is hard, but with MTN Momo, it's easy. Simply pay or shop with Momo for a chance to win mobile money every day. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
In the heart of Uganda, a financial revolution is happening. We were once left out, saving the old-fashioned way, with an unexpected saving spot, keeping it too close for comfort. But now, we found a better way to save and manage money. Download the Wendy app from Google Play or App Store or dial *229#. With Wendy, your money is safe and you can earn interest daily. Visit your Google Play or App Store or dial *229# to register. Wendy Wanawoli.
The Ministry of Health informs the general public that there are some cases of Mpox detected in Uganda. The ministry, working with partners and affected district local governments, are doing their best to contain the situation. The signs and symptoms of Mpox are body rash, fever, general body weakness, headache, sore throat, nasal congestion or cough, and swollen lymph nodes. You can prevent yourself from getting infected with Mpox by avoiding close contact with people who have been confirmed to have Mpox or who have signs and symptoms of Mpox. Avoiding touching or sharing personal items like beddings, eating utensils, phones, or other belongings of a person who has the signs and symptoms of Mpox. Avoiding contact, including eating with all wild animals, alive or dead, especially those known to carry the virus, such as rodents and monkeys, and those that appear sick or have been found dead. Getting vaccinated if you're among those who have been identified to be at high risk of Mpox infection. Mpox is treatable and usually goes away after 2 to 4 weeks. However, it can be severe, causing even death, especially among children, pregnant women, and those with other health conditions. For more information and support, contact your nearest health worker. Call the Ministry of Health's toll-free line on 0800 100 066 or send a free SMS to your report on 8500.
Honorable Fred Biamukama, Minister of State for Works and Transport in charge of transport, invites you to the launch of the 4-acre model campaign in the Greater Chibale District's Bunyoro sub-region. The event will take place at Chikwaya Primary School Playground, Kakumiro District on November 15, 2024, starting at 10 a.m. and will be graced by His Excellency President Yoweri Museveni. All residents, civil servants and the leaders from the districts that make up Greater Chibale, Kakumiro, Chibale, Kagadi, Chikube and neighboring areas are encouraged to attend in large numbers. This initiative, led by the President, aims to bring ordinary people into the money economy by showcasing farmers who have succeeded in the 1-acre model, 2-acre model, 3-acre model and 4-acre model. Join local leaders and residents in learning how small land can be used to enhance food security and socio-economic growth. Don't miss this opportunity to witness the transformative impact on local communities.
Amazina ganje Ninyetekwa Seruhanga John Bosco Ninduga mu district ya Rukungiri ndio muhanguzi wa miliyoni 18 na Uganda National Rotary nzahangwire urwo mu kuzana star 278 hash ngafuna message eriko ka ndio muhanguzi nashemererwa konka nabaza kugira ngo nebya bafere sente ziriyo zone bakaziteka nko nazihangwira.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win. Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
To be a winner, it requires that you exceed all the limits of mankind and womankind. But when you play with MTN Momo, winning is easy. Simply get your phone and use the Momo app or dial *165*3#, enter merchant code, enter amount, enter your Momo PIN and pay. Congratulations! Your stomach is full and now you stand a chance to win mobile money with MTN Momo.
Welcome back from the break, and we're glad that you're still with us. Now, in more news this evening, agriculturalists have called for sustainable land management practices in the sector by farmers as a catalyst in combating climate change. The appeal was made during the Uganda National Agricultural Extension Week 2024, where information gaps among women was also highlighted as a key impediment that affects women in the agricultural sector. Saddam Mubale reports.
There are 500 million small-scale farmers in the world producing 70% of the world food, but many of them are chronically hungry and lack vital information to boost harvests and address the threats of climate change. This, according to Brigita Nyawira from the Grameen Foundation, can only be achieved through sustainable land management practices.
But on the sustainable land management practices as well, I think we are all cognizant of the challenges of climate, challenges around climate, and we within the AgriPath project are promoting adoption of sustainable land management practices. They are better for our environment, the productivity is increased, and we have seen with the farmers that we are working with, there is actually an appreciation of adoption of sustainable land management practices.
The AgriPath project, being implemented by Grameen Foundation in partnership with Kilimo Trust and other organizations, seeks to deliver digital advisory services to help smallholder farmers, especially women and the youth, to adopt effective and sustainable agricultural practices.
Within the AgriPath project, the focus of the advisory information that we are providing through the different extension models that I have talked about are purely on sustainable land management practices. What we have done is, because we know there's a ton of information out there, we have connected to a global database that is called WOCAT, World Overview of Conservation Approaches and Technologies, which is validated by UNCCD. And through that WOCAT database, we are able to provide farmers with information on various sustainable land management practices. The beauty with this database is it's a global database, and so we are able to pull from practices from very different countries around the world to enable farmers to adopt more sustainable land management practices.
Land ownership and information gaps among women and youth are still a challenge despite the critical role they play in the agriculture sector. Rachel Ajambo, the country team leader from Kilimo Trust, says these barriers must be addressed if Uganda is to reach its full potential in the agriculture sector.
One of the ways we can address the gender gap or the barriers is to be intentional, really, and put a lot of emphasis on those sectors that are actually increasing women participation. Things like the community pass card that enables women to be able to access financial services and information via their mobile phone, because we have noticed that they like to use their mobile phone and they can actually access information via their mobile phone. So technologies and sectors that actually employ a lot of women and also are women-friendly need to be more supported than they are.
With limited extension services, farmers still struggle to access the information and support they need to improve their practices. This has a direct impact on their productivity and overall livelihood.
The number of farmers increases, while the number of extension workers, especially those supported by government, are limited. So we're talking about one extension worker having to advise about 2,000 farmers, which means that they will not get guidance on how to grow or manage their livestock. They will not get access to the right technologies that they need because they don't have that information.
Saddam Mubale, UBC News, Kampala.
Of human rights in places of work are on the rise and continue to infringe on the rights of women and children in Uganda. This has prompted the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development to launch a 3-year project in partnership with Belgian government with a €4.8 million support from EU to promote observance of human rights agenda in business. The Minister of State for Elderly Affairs at the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, David Mafabi Gidudu, reaffirmed government's commitment in implementing human rights standards.
Uganda is applauded for the good strides in socio-economic transformations, with many businesses sprouting, but with a highly vulnerable unemployed community. Many of these employment sectors have turned human rights abusers, inflicting mainly on rights of women and children. This has prompted the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, with a technical guidance from the Belgium Development Arm, enable to launch a 3-year project code named Advancing Respect for Human Rights by Businesses.
This, in my view, is a unique project where the government is working together with civil society organizations and development partners at the same pace to achieve a goal of human rights protection. Each of the parties is bringing on board exceptional dimension to tackling the challenge of human rights violation in business operations.
In 2021, Uganda adopted the National Action Plan on Business and Human Rights, and according to the stakeholders, this project is timely to enforce elimination of child labor, especially in the agriculture sector and the mineral development sectors of the economy.
In our rapidly changing economy, businesses hold great potential to uplift communities. But to achieve this, they must respect human rights for all individuals without undue discrimination.
We will implement this project very successfully, and we undertake to ensure that the rights of our people are upheld.
The project is highly funded by the European Union at a tune of 4.8 million euros.
The European Union is pleased to see an emphasis on working in the digital space among the project's thematic areas. As more and more private sector activity uses digital tools, including artificial intelligence, to increase productivity and create new business opportunities, it is important to ensure that the rights of end users and local communities are adequately protected.
The Business and Human Rights Project also directly complements Belgium's other development efforts in Uganda, such as our thematic portfolio on decent work and social protection, which focuses on the 4 pillars of decent work.
Enable and the Gender Ministry are to implement the project in 3 regions in Kampala Metropolitan, Busoga region and the Albertine Oil region.
And this project will help the government of Uganda, and more specifically the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, to implement the National Action Plan and to help businesses really strengthen business and human rights in their supply chains, in their operations. Yeah?
The government has called for unified efforts in managing wetlands across the countries, which are under significant pressure due to the rising demands for settlement and agricultural land. Out of more than 33,000 square kilometers of wetlands nationwide, approximately 1,350 square kilometers have suffered degradation beyond the possibility of restoration. This information emerged at the first annual National Dialogue on Finding Solutions to Uganda's Wetlands Crisis.
According to records, wetlands account for 33,762 square kilometers, making about 13.9% of the total size of Uganda. According to the recent inventory of wetlands by Join for Water, it was established that of the 13.9%, only 9% remains intact, with the rest degraded almost beyond restoration. During the first ever annual National Dialogue on Wetlands, it was revealed that population increase and urbanization are the 2 competing drivers for wetlands degradation.
We found out that there is a lot of urbanization, so encroachment for urbanization, infrastructure development, agriculture also being one of the biggest issues, There is, and many other things happening in wetlands.
And then there are delays here and there, I don't know why, on the finalization of the wetlands bill. The one we have is long overdue. There are a lot of developments. We need to come up with the legislation that is in line with what is available. We need to safeguard our wetlands. The boundary demarcations are missing.
To remedy this, the Ministry of Water and Environment is calling for collaborations with development partners and other stakeholders in working towards heightened protection of wetlands resources as well as ensuring restoration of the degraded ones.
Under government, we are supposed to strengthen policy and regulatory frameworks, enhance enforcement and provide incentives for sustainable wetland use. But developing proposals and mobilizing resources cannot be a monopoly of what? Government. Even other stakeholders can mobilize resources through projects development, through other interventions.
Okay, the enforcement of regulation related to wetland management, related to environment and natural resources management, should be financed. They should be given priority. And for it to be given priority, one of the things I would like to emphasize is that wetland management or environmental management should cut across the budgeting for environmental management, should cut across all sectors of the districts, all sectors of government. Otherwise, if we leave it as a role of only the environment department, the natural resources department, then we will not achieve what it should be.
As government works towards the restoration of about 10,000 square kilometers of wetlands by the year 2030, engagements such as these are seen as a step in the right direction.
This action, which is supported through Join for Water, it is very important. Such dialogues should happen regularly. They are reminders to the people that we have this undertaking or this resource to protect it.
Dorcas Kimono, UBC News.
We proceed to the exhibition.
State Minister for Youth Affairs Balam Barugahara has assured non-governmental organizations that the government will continue to support them in their research on
According to the report, unemployment among the youth, poverty, poor decision-making, teenage pregnancies, mindset change are some of the challenges which still act as an obstacle for the well-being of youth.
There are issues related to economic stress, poverty, again linked to unemployment, cited both as causes and consequences of the mental health-related problems.
Lack of coordination and implementing unevidenced policies in government ministries are some of the gaps that need to be addressed.
Because the youth are the future of this country. We need to have effective and comprehensive, integral, but also built in an ecosystem that supports them, and they also support that system.
During the launch, State Minister for Youth Balam Barugahara agreed with the findings and proposed for increased engagements with youth to be trained in mindset change.
So youngest population at 78, it is important we plan, but we should stop planning for them unless we do a research involving them.
Minister Balam said without research, government finds it difficult to know what to do and at what time because research provides evidenced proof about the prevailing condition.
So whenever you do research and you involve the people concerned, it is very, very important that we do interventions with the evidence.
Government, through the Ministry of Gender and Local Government, have put various funds like Emyoga, Youth Fund, Parish Development Model and others for the youth to tap in and get capital for startup, all aimed at uplifting the well-being of youth. I'm Nafka Farida and Joseph Muyingo.
Now, ahead of the Nyamitanga Technical Institute second graduation ceremony this Friday, students and administration have cleaned Mbarara City as a way of giving back to the community. The institute's graduation ceremony, at which the First Lady Janet Museveni is expected as chief guest, will have 1,133 graduates, 884 of whom are male, while the women are 239, representing 21%. The institute, found in Mbarara City, is government-aided and under the Catholic Foundation and was started 70 years back.
Fachi Girvazio, engineer, principal Nyamitanga Technical Institute. We are here for an activity for Nyamitanga, which is the second graduation. We are going to graduate people of 2022-2023, both in USDP and those ones who studied 2 years. Nyamitanga Technical Institute is a center of excellence, and it started in 1950. So we have been offering technical courses, producing graduates with employable skills, which are marketable, and we are slated for our graduation, which is tomorrow, 1st November 2024, and the guest of honor is slated to be Honorable Minister of Education and Sports, the First Lady, Mama Janet Museveni.
It is our second graduation since the institute started, and we are really prepared. We know we shall have very many people. The graduates are quite a number. 1,133 is not a small number, but we shall manage it. We have planned in such a way that our time is going to, the time we have set is going to be enough for all the activities that we have bedded in. We expect the guest of honor, as the principal has said, to be the actually shall be the First Lady and Minister of Education, and other dignitaries that will come with her. So we are set.
Tomorrow we are cleaning the town so that you can be looking so good and smart.
And with that, we come to the end of UBC News tonight on this final day of October. Tomorrow we start off a new month, and that is November. Thank you so much for your company. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto. Now, on behalf of the team working tirelessly behind the scene and myself, we wish you a good night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
In a world where every day is a battle for survival, one man endures grueling hardships just to make a living.
Hey, yes, sir.
In Olwatuka, witness a heart-pounding journey of love. Pain, acrimony, and justification that the line between right and wrong has never been so thin.
Maybe I need to remind him who I am.
So, you killed my wife. Olwatuka film premiere will be on the 3rd of December 2024 at Uganda National Theatre, sponsored by
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
And let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because